I have been walking this earth for 94 years, and I am going to tell you something that might surprise you. Most people spend their whole lives looking for a magic pill or a new habit to add to their routine to stay young. But the real secret to a long life is not about what you start doing. It is about what you stop. My name is Opal June, and I have lived long enough to bury my mother, my father, 3 sisters, and a husband. I have been to more funerals than birthday parties, and after a while, you start to notice a pattern. The ones who left us early did not usually have bad luck or bad genes. They had bad habits, they had heavy burdens they refused to put down. So I want you to listen close, because one of the things I am about to share might be stealing your time right now without you even knowing it. The very first thing I stopped doing was eating after the sun went down. This sounds old-fashioned, and it is. My grandmother told me this when I was just a girl, but I thought I knew better. For years, I would have my supper and then settle in with a snack while watching television. It seemed harmless, but I started waking up tired, my joints felt stiff, and my spirit felt heavy. Then, about 40 years ago, I finally understood. I stopped. Now the last bite of food hits my lips by 6 or 7 o'clock. Your body is like a house that needs to be cleaned every night, but it cannot clean the floors if it is still busy cooking dinner in the kitchen. Once I gave my body that rest, I woke up feeling lighter and clearer. I stopped fighting my biology and started honoring it. Building on that kitchen table wisdom, I want you to look at your body differently. We often treat ourselves like a storage unit, cramming in more food, more stress, and more stillness until the walls start to creak. But I learned that your body is a home, and a home needs room to breathe. This leads me to the second pillar of my long journey. I stopped treating my body like a warehouse and started treating it like a living temple that requires constant movement and clearing. Think about a creek in the woods. If the water keeps moving, tumbling over rocks and dancing in the light, it stays clear and sweet. But the minute that water stops moving, it turns murky. It gets thick with silt and sickness. Your body is exactly the same. My husband, bless his soul, spent his final years in a recliner from sunrise to sunset. He only stood up to eat or use the bathroom, and he left this world at 71. He let his stream stop moving. I, on the other hand, refuse to stay still. I do not go to a gymnasium, and I do not lift heavy weights. I simply move. I hang my own laundry on the line, I walk to the mailbox, and I stand up when I speak on the telephone. Every time you stand up, you are telling yourselves that you are still in the game. Death, you see, begins with stagnation. It begins when we sit down and decide we are finished moving. When you combine this movement with the habit of stopping your meals early, you create a beautiful rhythm of flow and filtration. You are giving your house the time it needs to sweep the floors at night and the movement it needs to keep the air fresh during the day. It is not about intense exercise or strict dieting. It is about honoring the natural flow of life within you. If you keep your water moving and your house clean, you will find that age is just a number. But vitality is a choice you make every single hour. Once your house is clean and your stream is moving, you have to protect what is inside. This brings me to a hard truth that many people learn too late. Your energy is a currency, and you must stop spending it on things that give you no return. I decided a long time ago that my peace of mind is like money in the bank. In fact, it is the most valuable asset I own. Every time you engage in a senseless argument or say yes when your soul is screaming no, you are making a withdrawal from your health fund. You are going into debt for people who do not even care about your balance. I used to be a fighter. If someone said something ignorant or wrong, I felt a fire in my chest to correct them. I wanted to win. But I realized that winning an argument with a fool is like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. It is a waste of your precious life. Now, when someone tries to pull me into their chaos, I simply smile, I nod, and I let it go. That is not weakness. It is the ultimate form of self-respect. You have to guard your gate. Every argument you choose not to have is a deposit of years back into your life. This also means I stopped being a yes woman. For years, I stretched myself so thin you could see right through me. I said yes to every favor, every committee, and every person who wanted a piece of my time. I was exhausted and resentful, and that resentment was a slow poison. Now, I say no with kindness, but with absolute firmness. I have drawn a line in the sand to protect my spirit from energy parasites. The people who truly love you will respect those boundaries, and the ones who do not were only interested in what they could take from you anyway. By protecting your peace, you save your strength for the people and the moments that actually matter. But protecting your energy from the outside is only half the battle. You must also clear the poisons that have already leaked inside. This leads me to the fourth secret, and it is perhaps the heaviest one to carry until you finally decide to drop it. I stopped holding grudges. I had a sister named Loretta who did me a terrible wrong, the kind of hurt that stays in your bones. For 15 years I carried that anger like a sharp stone in my pocket. It cut me every time I moved. I thought my silence was punishing her, but she was living her life just fine while I was the one losing sleep. You see, unforgiveness is a slow death. It sits in your heart like a toxin. And while I am no doctor, I know what stress does to a person. It tightens your chest and sours your stomach. One day, I realized that the grudge was not hurting her at all. It was only eating me alive. So I called her and I let it go. In that moment, I felt 20 pounds lighter. Your body cannot heal what your heart refuses to release. You must forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to breathe again. Once your heart is clear, you have to be careful about what you let back in, especially as the day ends. I stopped watching the news before bed. The world is full of fear, disasters, and people shouting, and the folks on the television make their money by keeping you afraid. If you fill your mind with chaos right before you close your eyes, that is what your soul will chew on all night long. Now I turn it all off by 5 o'clock. I read, I pray, or I just watch the birds on the porch. You need a sanctuary of peace to rest. What you put in your head before sleep is just as important as what you put in your body. For a peaceful mind is the foundation of a long and healthy life. This brings me to the final gate, the most important lesson of all, that ties every other piece together. I stopped waiting to live. When I was young, I lived in the future. I thought happiness was always just around the corner. I told myself I would be happy when the house was paid for, or when the children were grown, or when I finally reached retirement. I spent decades preparing for a life that was always 10 miles down the road. But as I stand here at 94, I can tell you the most dangerous lie we believe is that there will always be more time. My husband and I talked about traveling to California for 30 years. We saved the money, we bought the maps, and we waited for the right season. He passed away just 3 months before we were supposed to leave. My best friend Dot and I planned to sit on the beach together once we both retired, but she never made it to that shore. These losses taught me a brutal, beautiful truth. The right time is not a date on a calendar. It is the moment you are breathing in right now. Tomorrow is a promise that has never been kept to anyone. So look at your life today. If you have been following along, you know now that longevity is a harmony of many parts. It is about letting your body heal by stopping the late-night meals. It is about keeping your inner stream clear by moving your limbs and refusing to sit still. It is about protecting your bank of peace by walking away from fools and saying no to the things that drain your spirit. And it is about washing your heart clean of the poison of grudges and the noise of a fearful world. But all of these habits serve only one purpose: to make you ready for the present moment. Do not wait for a special occasion to wear your nicest dress or to use the good china. Do not wait for an apology to find your peace. Tell the people you love exactly how you feel right now. Eat the good food, take the long walk, and watch the sun go down with a heart that is wide open. Living a long life is a blessing, but living a full life is a choice. You have more power than you think to reclaim your time, but only if you stop doing the things that are stealing it from you. I have shared my secrets. and now the choice is yours. That evening sun is looking mighty fine from my porch, and I do not intend to miss a single second of it.